Okay, so please hear me out for about 1 minute. I will try to give you a TLDR for all those people who don't want to watch the whole video, but I will also explain things in a little more detail afterwards. So here's the thing. In 2018, it might look for some of you, at least I think so, that audio gear, headphone reviews and such have gained the upper hand, and therefore kind of smartphone review seems to suffer, which is I guess what most of you people are looking for here on this channel. Now here's the whole summary. None of the audio gear or nothing else besides the phone reviews will have ever any impact on the smartphone reviews, the amount of it. That's it. Now let me take the time now and actually explain a few things and back it up with numbers. Okay, so let's start with the following. Will it have any impact? No. Why not? Because it's so easy to understand actually. Reviewing a phone is just like using a phone for a certain amount of time and then giving you my opinion and all what I've tested and so on. And this just takes a certain amount of time. And I would say a minimum of 5 days, but let's just make it easier to also calculate things. 1 week. Okay, so 1 week I need to make a proper review, at least that. Now, here's the thing. And I will start off with the beginning of 2018, and those numbers actually back up with last year's numbers. Or actually, no, let's start with those. Last year I made 480 videos, round about that. Of course, half of those only in English and the other half in German. Now, I've also took all the numbers and so on, and now let's just look at it. The year has 52 weeks, which means I could review about 52 phones or even a little bit more. Now what I have reviewed is I think 63 or maybe even 68 phones, I don't know anymore. So this, if we take the half of 480, would be 240, and then let's say 60 would be about a third. So every third video was a smartphone review, and that was a smartphone review. Because if I take the extra videos that I did, like for example comparisons and some face-offs and some just phone-related videos, it would be even more. But let's just see it as about a third of all my videos were smartphone reviews. Now, let's see if things have changed, because I got a comment when someone said, oh, once again a headphone review, and I said, this has no impact on the smartphone review. Someone else then replied, but it has become less reviews since December. Now what I explained to him is, like I said, in this video, I said it won't have an impact on the amount of smartphone reviews. And now let me back this up from 2018, just so we get a clean slate. I've made 9 phone reviews, and we are in week 11. And that is actually, if you consider that we haven't even gotten to the amount of many releases yet, because all of the big announcements, all of the big phones, all of the important phones will still come. And considering that I pretty much released 1 phone review every day, seems to be in line. But also, if you consider one thing, I've made 9 reviews for phones, but actually related phone videos I made, I think like 13 or 14. Which, now if we take the numbers of the third rule that I said about last year, let's check that. I made about 75 videos, and about 26 of those are phone related. So once again we have the third. Of course you can now split it again into German and English videos, but it just shows the same. It's about 1/3. So every third video is usually a phone review or a phone related video. So as you can see, even though it might look like audio gear has gained the upper hand, which it has, because after all, if you see it like this, every third video is a phone review. Yeah, 2/3 is audio related gear at the moment, because I kind of stopped doing tablet reviews for a moment. I will get into a few after once they come, like the Huawei MediaPad and such, and also a few laptop videos. But of course, most of those were headphones, were gaming headsets. I think I've reviewed some minor other things, and then maybe like amps and such. So let's just see it like it is. If things continue this year, if it's possible for me, and I'm trying to do my best because I want that, 2/3 will remain non-phone related stuff, like headphones and also TVs and also speakers and such. But like I said, this will have no impact on the phone reviews, because as you have seen, last year I pretty much went to the absolute maximum of 63 or 68, I can't remember anymore, which I have to say I don't think I will be able to make this year, just because I've also noticed last year that it was just too much. It was way too stressful, way too exhausting, and about 1 a week we can still roughly say. So the thing is just I use the phone anyways, and just because I come home and then use a headphone, doesn't impact the amount that I review a phone anyways, because that's usually what I do mostly during work and usually normal in daily use. Because if I wouldn't check a headphone, I would just watch a video or I would just do anything else and the phone will get used anyways. So I hope you all understand now that none of what I'm doing has any negative impact on the phone reviews. Now I want to back up why things are the way they are, at least from this year. I said already this year that I want to totally focus on all the reviews or all the stuff that I'm gonna do that is just about my personal fun, because I think that translates best over the screen things, and I get this especially on headphone reviews. The few people, absolutely a few, I get that, and it's definitely a niche market, and I didn't even crack a little bit of a spot of that, but they say that they definitely notice that I have fun in that, and that kind of goes back to them again. They enjoy the videos, so that is all I want. I want to review audio stuff because I like to use it, and then I like to talk about it, and I like some discussions and all about that. And last year, or at least before the start of the year, I always said one thing: I am going to review whatever I can get my hands on. Now, since over the last few months, weeks, and all the years that have passed, the access that I have right now has just grown. Things have changed because I can now actually review way more than I could. I just have to be selective. And that's why the new premise is I'm going to review whatever I can, what I want to review. So first of all, I have to want something. And then if I can review it, I will. If I can't, obviously I won't. But I'm not gonna review something that I don't want to, even if I easily could, because due to the connection with the shops that I have right now, I can review pretty much any sort of tech, but I don't really want to. I want to just review something that is fun for me, because of course, just for example, recently I was asked to review a portable monitor, and I agreed because that's actually something that I always wanted to try, and also maybe a pen, stylus or something like that recently and so on, and there are some few other things. Just because if I haven't ever, I want to at least try it. If I think it's something interesting, I will. Otherwise, I won't. And for all those people who are actually waiting for more imported smartphone reviews, I can tell you so much. I'm pretty much done with GearBest. From Trading Shenzhen or also CCT Shop, I will still get review units, which are just loaners. Like for example, the Nokia 6 2018 is on its way. I will get also the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro and similar phones, because those are the interesting ones. Now from GearBest, why I think about just cutting off with them is the following. Since I got a new contact, my ratio isn't what it was before. Before I had, if you buy through my link something for about 1,000 euros, I can get something to review for about for a third of that. So let's say $333. Now with my new contact, my ratio, since I didn't really make any money the last few months, since I didn't really review anything from them because I just wasn't interested, I am now down to a level of 1 to 8, which means pretty much nothing anymore. Because the last month I made like $1,200 through there. What's that? That's pretty much nothing. I could get one cheap phone of that. Now this month I'm at 500. So this means pretty much I have still access to cheaper stuff, but I don't want to review these things anymore. I've tried it last year to see how things would turn out, and I just had to notice that all of these Chinese super budget phones are just great on paper, but total crap in reality. Of course, not all of them, but I just don't have the time, because if I want to focus on the interesting stuff, I'm just gonna go for the flagships and for the really nice mid-ranges, and if I find here or there a nice budget phone, I will review those. But the failure rate that I had from, let's say, 12 imported phones, 10 of them were crap, and the good ones were the ones that I knew would be good, like the Xiaomi phones, the Meizu phones, and so on. And these will still stay a thing, but don't expect to see any low-end budget Chinese phones anymore. There are enough YouTubers who like to do those, and those are also the people that can make more than 60 reviews in a year, because they pretty much use a phone for one day and then review it. It's the best new thing anyways. They make a lot of revenue off that, and that's fine. But I just have to set priorities, because I don't make any money worth talking about with this channel. I make just about enough so I can sometimes get a goodie here and there, but usually I just save up for a long period of time, and then I buy something to upgrade something in the room here to make the content for you more enjoyable, or even if you don't notice it, it makes it sometimes easier for me with different lighting and so on. Because, for example, what I also have to just calculate is, for example, the U11 Plus, if you've seen my review, I scratched it. I didn't really think much about it, but that scratch actually was enough for Cyberport to take off 25% of what it costs for me to be paid. And it was 750 euros. So I would have to roughly pay 200 euros for the damage that I did with one scratch, which shouldn't have happened because I didn't drop the phone. I just put it on a desk. Maybe there was something beyond it. I maybe pulled it up a little bit awkwardly and there was this quite deep scratch, but yeah, still. Now, what they kind of agreed with me, since I usually always take, well, good care of the stuff, they said to me, okay, you just pay 100 euros. But that's 100 euros out of my pocket that I have to pay, that I can't invest in anything else. And obviously I thought about, let's actually talk about that for a little bit, since this is also kind of an update video for the channel. I thought about doing Patreon. Now the thing is, since I do all my videos in 2 languages, I don't think it's really worth the effort. It's just impossible to get it done, because I would have to set up Patreon in 2 languages, which is already hard. Then I have to put out extra content, because otherwise no one would, why would anyone pay me? I've noticed this because I over the almost 5 years that I YouTube, I got, in terms of donations over my PayPal link, like altogether like 50 euros. So why would anyone pay me on a monthly basis? Because if every content is free, why would you pay for it? Some people are kind of appreciative and they would give me something, but like I said, it's not about the money. But the issue is also, if I want to evolve for the channel, there are just things that I want to invest in, things that will improve the channel. But also I have to, I'm being completely straightforward. It is an audio gear. I would maybe invest in more headphones that I can't get, so I would have to pay for those to review them, like for example some mass drop headphones or such, and also maybe a headphone amp or maybe something else, I don't know, but kind of that related gear. But since maybe like 1 or 2% of the whole subscriber base that I have on this channel actually bother about the headphone stuff, this is pretty much not feasible, because there are some smaller channels that I know who do audio related stuff, but all is audio related, and all those viewers are audio related, and every review gets thousands of views, and those people want to spend money, because audiophiles are willing to spend a good amount of money, or are willing to that, because that's a topic that is usually always quite expensive, and they have the money because most audiophiles are already a little bit of a more mature age. They have the money because they are usually established and so on, and that's where we're. But I don't have this kind of viewer base. My viewers mostly come from tablets, and mostly, by the way, yeah, obviously smartphone reviews. And those are usually younger people, or people who just care about that stuff. And I've seen it from my experience, from other views, from other comments, that they simply don't care about high-end audio gear. So those people definitely won't go on my channel to go for that stuff. Obviously, there would be also smartphone stuff, because what I thought about is would be just, for Patreons, have unboxing videos with some very first raw impressions and some other extra stuff. And if people would be paying for that, that would be nice. But to do that in 2 languages is pretty much impossible, because I can only do a proper first impression with an unboxing in 1 language. The second time, it's just not a first impression anymore, and it's not a real unboxing, and I won't do that. So what I could do is just say I will make Patreon, but only for 1 language. I guess for the moment it would be still English, because that's still the bigger viewership, but I've also noticed that the German viewership seems to be kind of more into that stuff. So it would maybe make even more sense to do it in German, even though I have less viewers there. Those are more engaged. So let me know what you want, because the problem is also I make so much content, because you have seen it, 480 videos in 1 year. Obviously that's like 240 for each language, and it's not twice the amount that I have to put in for, but it's a good amount extra effort, because it just takes more time, more uploading, more stuff, and more comments and so on. So I can't really make much more videos. I would maybe therefore have to compromise on other videos. So I have no idea why I went in this direction with this video, but like I said, the main premise was to explain to you that whatever is going on the channel, if you don't like the headphone reviews, it won't have an impact. So if you are, and I can just ask you for that, if you are okay with just skipping or just ignoring anything that doesn't interest you, like for example the headphone reviews if you are just into smartphone reviews, or the smartphone reviews if you are just into the headphone gear, even though I don't think these people have an problem. You could accept it and just ignore them, or the only thing I can offer you is just not subscribe to the channel anymore, which definitely is not what I want, but I'm not gonna change. I won't change the content in any sort of direction, because I'm pretty sure that of the 70,000 subscribers that I have at the moment, let's say 65, or let's say even if it's just 60 are just coming for the phone reviews, and not even those regular ones, because that's just people who subscribe and don't watch, because my videos have a very bad ratio in terms of what I have in terms of subscribers and actual views. So it's way less, to be sure. But if you need to unsubscribe, if you don't think this channel is what you actually subscribe to, then I just can't change it, because you will still get what you want with something extra that you maybe don't want. But that's the thing that makes me the most fun, and I'm not a professional YouTuber. It's just for my fun, it's just for my hobby, and therefore I just have to be my own first priority. If I already spend so much time, so much effort, and so much energy and money and whatever else into the channel, I can't suffer. Okay, so this was a very long, maybe unnecessary long video, but this explains maybe some things.